that's illegal. Who allowed them to do that? Who? The NHL draft has passed. Ivar Stenberg has gone second. Gavin McKenna went to the Leafs. Who cares? I care. But Pittsburgh got the Ruck twins. But like, I'm big on the Rucks. Like it's actually crazy. I love them. But you can't talk about the Rucks and the whole draft talking to what has led up to it, which is the trades, because all NHL teams have said fuck the trade deadline. The trades were crazy, starting June 16th. So pretty much a week before the draft, it all got crazy. So the first trade was Joseph Wall and Simone Benoit for Samuel Aronson, Emile Andre, and a third-round pick for this year. Now, obviously that's sad. Joseph Wall is our Wonderwall. He's my Wonderwall. He's your Wonderwall. But he was injured a lot last season. I thought he was our saving grace. I thought we were going to keep him for a while. But you free up cap, which is, holy shit, John Kranka or whatever, he's cooking. He's cooking with fire. Cooking with gas. And they get rid of Benoit, who kind of sucked. They get Emile Andre, who's a good young defenseman. And they get Samuel Aronson, who I was high on, but he's not there anymore. Then the next trade after, it was Colorado trades Ross Colton. Nashville's not crazy. I don't like. They're kind of boring. They're honestly the most boring team, I think. They pick up Ross Colton, who, like, Ross Colton, I don't think he's gonna make him, like, he's not gonna change. Like, they're not gonna pick up Ross Colton and suddenly be Stanley Cup champions. Ross Colton isn't one of those guys that Nashville likes to acquire. That's a good hockey player and is great when he plays with good people. But to me, this is just like another Michael Bunting. Like, they traded for Michael Bunting, who's good. I loved him on the Leafs. But you can't really put a line around him. If I'm wrong, that's great. I'm a fan of Ruck. He's an NHL franchise mode legend for me. But yeah. Sharks. Yeah, the Sharks trade. The Sharks traded the first round pick that they had for Buffalo's first round pick. And they get Michael Kessler, who I'm a fan. I wasn't familiar with his game completely. He's going to make the Sharks better. I'll get into that. Maple Leafs acquired Darren Radish, who's the best free agent, I think. Unless Ovi doesn't stay with the Caps, which looks like he's going to stay there. But for a fifth round pick, like, you have to pay the guy $8 million for 8 years. He's going to become he's their number one D. Riley's on the way out this season, maybe not. But yeah. Mackie Samuel Levinchuk, the 23-year-old right winger, was traded from Florida to Seattle Kraken for a first and a second. First is crazy. Like, he's good. I guess he has a first. He's worthy of a first round pick, I guess. You just hope you get a little more in return. Like, obviously he's gonna play immediately. I don't know exactly who Florida took. I doubt they're gonna play immediately. So, like, short term, he's gonna win that trade, I guess. And it's rights too. I don't even think he's signed currently. And then maybe the biggest one that a lot of people are overhyping. I think this is a perfect trade. Brady Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers, who has like 2 years left on his $8.2 million contract. For Florida and Tampa's first round pick this year. First round pick in 2029. And a second round pick next year. Florida overpaid. Like, I get it that Matthew and Brady, like, the brothers, they won America the Gold. Like they did not. Maybe they did. I wasn't really know. But Brady sucks just a little bit. I don't think he's had a 30-goal season. He's not a point scorer. He's the worst Ottawa Senator captain in history. My worst captain of all time. I don't know. Dion Phaneuf, maybe. Nick Foligno. Nick Foligno. But he's like, obviously he's young. Wasn't the reason why they made it to the playoffs. He was a no-show in the playoffs, pretty much. Like, he wasn't the best player on their team. I don't know personally the depth, but I think Timmy Stützle is way better than Brady Tkachuk. And I like Ottawa. It hates me to say that as a Leafs fan, but this made them better. I think Florida's in a dire situation. I'm not quite sure what Florida's at now, but they don't have a goaltender. Their top nine's insane. I don't know about their defense, but I think they don't have a lot of cap. I might be wrong. If I am, the cap situation's on. I don't like Brady Tkachuk. I think everyone hates him, except if you're a fan. But it's like different because like everyone hated Brad Marchand on the Boston Bruins. I hated him, but like I never hated him more than Brady Tkachuk. I just think Brady Tkachuk sucks. Like Brad Marchand does cool shit. Oh yeah, Simon Nemec and Maximus Talipov. I have no idea, but that was the first round pick next year, 2008 first round, second round pick this year, and the defenseman prospect Simon Nemec to the Calgary Flames. Like way to grab your bag and do nothing. They're rebuilding. Then Ottawa goes out, uses Florida's first round pick, which rightfully so, it kind of has no value. Go out and get William Eklund, who I like. William Eklund, oh my god, he's like such a perfect fit. Such a perfect fit. Like, obviously they didn't, like, he's not going to replace Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk was too physical. Eklund's proven guy. He's good. He's going to go to Ottawa and be an immediate impact player. Top 6, definitely. I don't really know their line. He's up there. I did find it cool. He was at a Pitbull concert when he found it, so that's so cool. The Jordan Kyrou trade. The first Washington's cooking. They get Jordan Kyrou, who still has 4 years left on his contract. That will expire when he's 32 years old. He has an 8.1 cap hit. Cap's going up. It don't really matter. And Ovi, you sign him for 1 year. I doubt he goes 2. If he does and doesn't regress, good. But like, they trade away Connor McMichael, the greatest Connor Mc. I like Connor McMichael. He was so good for them last year. Like, he carried my fantasy team. And then you have the Chicago trade, which made Chicago look like dumbasses. They gotta do good this year to prove it's not. They acquire Bowen Byram and Jordan Greenway. One of those players is really good. It's Bowen Byram. They both have 1 year left on their contract. Buffalo gets the first round pick, 4th overall. That turns into Mason Rudolph, which is awesome. I love Mason Rudolph. Be a pro legend for me. They get a 2nd round pick and Louis Crevier, who he's not making me go crazy. Alex Tuck to the Capitals for David Camp in the 3rd. That's good. Like, they obviously have to re-sign Tuck. Jack Drury was traded to the Predators. Jack Drury, that's like another guy. Like, he's good. He's a good depth forward. I think they're expecting him to play higher time. I think they're gonna be like, oh, play second line, play first line. I don't really know. Nashville's really old. Like, they were the oldest team in the league, I think, last year. If they weren't, they should have been. Whoa. There's a lamp in the air. To Pittsburgh. Good for them. Valerie Nichushkin went to Columbus. That makes your team good. Yeah. Oh, Leafs trade away Samuel Aronson for the 5th round pick of Ottawa's next year. Kind of weird. I don't know why they would have done it. Maybe Aronson. It wasn't a money problem. It was not a money problem. Leafs have $22 million in cap space. They're trying to get someone that's Good. Sergei Bobrovsky. That would be sick. I would have kept Samuel, like just 1 year. Like, he's a good goaltender. But the problem with the Leafs is their goaltending is sick. They have Anthony Stolarz, who is their number one currently. Sergei might take it. They might split duties. Sergei Bobrovsky's 37, probably 38. I don't really know. And then they have Artie, the European goaltender, who is good. And they have Denna Hill, the beast, and he's 6'7". So I was a little sad by that. Olin Zellweger went to Buffalo or something, I guess. Oh, Ottawa acquired Burakovsky, which that alongside William Eklund, I think equates to Brady a little bit. Oh yeah, this was crazy. JJ Peterka went to Boston for their first round pick in 2008 or 2028 Florida first round pick. Is JJ Peterka becoming a problem among the league? Is he becoming an issue because he wanted out of Buffalo, then he went to the Mammoths for 1 year, and now he's out again at a $7.7 million cap hit? He's a good player. If you're going to do this funny business, I would have done it like Adam Fox. This trade happened during the draft. It was Pavel Dorofeyev for Dallas's first round pick. I don't remember what it was. Rangers get their first round pick back, and they get a Buffalo third rounder. I think that was one we knew for a while. Oh no, the JJ Peterka trade we knew for a while. Pavel Dorofeyev was breaking on that. And if McTavish traded to the Blues, I'm liking the Blues. The Blues might be a bandwagon. They traded for Detroit and Colorado's first round picks this year. Oh, Sebastian Cossa traded to the Mammoths. That's so I'm a fan of Sebastian Cossa. He was he's a good goaltender. Obviously, NHL 22 franchise mode legend. You'd get him in the third round, and you'd have a good goaltender for the rest of your career. He was drafted in the teens, I'm pretty sure, and this pick wasn't in the teens. So that's unfortunate. Leafs get Gavin McKenna, undoubtedly the first overall pick. I think it would have been, if they would have drafted anybody else, I might have died inside. Ivar Stenberg went second, which is great. Malhotra goes third, which I didn't think that was going to happen. Some girl on TikTok predicted it. Good for her. I really thought a defenseman would have gone, and I think Chase Reed was, I think, a lot of people's favorite defenseman to go. He falls to 8th to the Kraken, which is hilarious because a couple years ago there was this guy named Shane Wright. You might have heard of him. He slid down. He was projected to go first. He slid down to 4th, and the Kraken picked him up again. It was just crazy that those people that slid went to the Kraken. Vigo Boric went 8th overall to Winnipeg, another franchise mode legend. Mason Rudolph goes 4th to Buffalo. That's good for him. I like Mason Rudolph, another franchise mode legend. But I honestly liked him. He was the first defenseman taken off the board. That was mind-boggling to me. Hermanson went late teens, early 20s. Last year, he was projected to go 5th overall, but him alongside McKenna went to college, and they were kind of the test round. He didn't perform well. So I don't really remember who picked him up. They're getting a good player. Ilya Morozov, he was picked at number 20. I like him. That's my only note. I don't know why I like him. Ryan Lynn went to the Sharks. Sharks traded up for this. I thought it was a bit of an overpay, but if you want a guy, get him, I guess. They traded up They traded the 29th, 62nd, and 102nd. Sharks. They have Michael Misa, Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, Sam Dickinson, Ivar Stenberg, Lynn, and Vernkoff. That's illegal. Who allowed them to do that? Who? Their prospects are awesome, and most of them are good to play now. So that's just sick. Pittsburgh took the first Ruck twin. I think at 19th. It might have been 21. They took him. Earl Burt, he's the Texan. He went to Detroit. Costa Detroit trade. That resulted in Halbert. Adam Novotny, I don't know. He slid to Vancouver. He had the most points on the Peterborough Petes, who kind of suck. I think he had like 60-something points. Like, obviously it's not a lot, but I'm a Peterborough Petes fan, so I back him. JLH. He went to Ottawa. He's a good player, from what I can tell. He was projected to go 80, but that was because he had a knee injury all last year. And I think Ottawa, like, it was a little off the board. I don't know if a lot of people were like, oh, let's get this guy. But Ottawa played it safe. They got this guy that would have been first round consideration if he wasn't injured. This guy named Gleb, he went to Montreal. I just thought that was a funny name. Apparently he lays the body. He's compared to Yavin Trevin or whatever, which I don't know how a person goes in the first round getting compared to an absolute grit grinder, but congratulations. Oh yeah, this was during the time, like, it was mid-20s. 20s suck in the first round draft because typically you have players that are going to go before the 20s and you're like, oh, good for them. Like, they might have fallen a couple picks. The 20s is where it's like, could be anyone. Because, like, nobody knows shit. Craig Button had a guy that went in the second round going 4th overall. They don't know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. The last pick of the night was awesome. So Ottawa had the 32nd pick. Ottawa, there's controversy there. They were fined because they had a Evgeny Davinov trade, and it wasn't legal, or something. There was something that messed up, and they ended up having that pick forfeited. So it would have just not have been picked. But they obviously challenged that. There was $1 million fine, I think. But they got it back, and they took Jackson Cover from London Knights. This is just a great story. He exclusively roller skated until the age of 13, and that's when he started. And then 13, he started playing ice hockey. In less than a year, maybe, less than 10 years, he's a first round pick. Pittsburgh had took the Ruck twin, and I'm like, you got to play the Rucks together. Trade up. And then they're like, oh, they can't trade this pick. And I was like, oh. And I was a little sad, but then was called, and I was so happy. It's just such a good tell moment. Like, how can hockey not be romantical? I wake up, Xavier Villama. He was projected to go like 4th or 6th by Craig Button. Goes 34th to Chicago, which is a good pick. Xavier is another franchise mode legend of mine. He's not as insane as the other guys, but I was just like, oh, I know that guy. Like, good pick. Pittsburgh do get the Ruck twins, and I was so happy for this. Pittsburgh, their next pick was the 39th pick, and I was worried that someone was going to take the Ruck. But the problem, because the Rucks, they led the CHL in points. There was like 106, 104, something like that. Pittsburgh did something really smart, which I'm surprised Kyle Dumbass did. Because, like, a lot of people want to play the Twins together, because that's how they got their most points. They were line mates wherever they were. And they took the first Ruck. It was like first move, and now the ball's in everyone else's court, but no one wants to pick the ball up, right? Like, the other Ruck could have gone, right? A lot of people did have the Ruck split up, getting traded. St. Louis could have had the Rucks. They had back-to-back first picks. They were like, nah. They move stuff. But they get it because like no one wants to take the other Ruck twin because you need to play them together. And who's gonna? Pittsburgh's gonna give you what? You're gonna give Pittsburgh what? You're gonna be overpaying for a guy that hasn't been proven. I think the Ruck twins would have been successful. They just wouldn't have been successful if they were not on the same team. Also, the twins, they're handedness. One's left, one's right. That means they're good for passes. Like, there were, like, they showed their highlight reel. Like, one's behind the net and, like, gives it to a guy that's, like, in the slot or just outside. And obviously that's how most goals go in most of the time. But, like, if they are on a 2-on-1, they can pass. They can pass to each other. No one's taking it on the backhand, which that's lethal. Oh, Hextall went, I think, in the second round. I think. I was like, that's cool. Good for him. Joe Ginla went 65th to Calgary, which, good for them. That's a third-round pick. I've seen a lot of people think second. I don't really. I wasn't overly excited about him. I know his brother was good. It's just when it comes to legacy players, children, it's like, are they going to be good? Sometimes they have. Like, Nylander is better than his father. Both Tchucks are better than his father. That also pisses me off. Keith Tchuck is in the Hall of Fame. Why? He did nothing. Nothing. He sucked. He is a Nepo baby because he got in because of Nepo, and it's the other way around. I just hate the Tchucks. Oh, and the Brandon Carlo trade. That happened. Brandon Carlo, he was making $4 million for a couple years. Maybe one more. They get 2 third-round picks, which, that's fucking good. You weren't getting a first for him. And you probably weren't getting a second. You might get a second for Riley. But getting 2 third-round picks, I don't think they were both the same year. But if they were, who cares? Third-round picks are good. Like, they're good players, right? Like, that's still in the top 100 prospects. You're gonna get a good player. But yeah, that was just my general reaction to the trades.